Yes. Hey guys, I'm Kevin and welcome back to the fourth part of this 5-part series where we'll be learning how to build an OAuth to action based GPT. So till now we have seen what our OAuth to action based GPT, went over a product walkthrough and did a technical architectural review of the GPT that we would want to build. In this session, we will do a hands-on implementation of our middleware and connect it with Google authentication. So let's get started. So to recap, there were three main components in our architecture: the wallet journal GPT, the middleware, and the Google identity provider. In this session, we will focus on just building the middleware and hooking it up with Google identity provider. The middleware we build will use Firebase Cloud Functions, and it will also use Firestore. Okay, so let's get started. So Google, in this thing, the requirements that we will need is a Google Cloud account. We can create one at cloud.google.com if you don't have it. An editor, I'm using Visual Studio Code, but you can feel free to use whatever you wish to. Node, and this is where you can get Node. TypeScript from this place. You can also install it with npm package, and Firebase tools also you can install with npm packages. I have all of these installed and everything is good. I'm using Mac. So yeah, let's get started and follow along. If you don't have it, then yeah, just go to these links and you will get it. So first of all, we need to create a Firebase project. So for that, we will go to our terminal. So I have my terminal open here, and I'll be doing, I will be following along here. First, I will make a directory where I will be where I will work. So wallet journal, and now I'm gonna do Firebase logout and Firebase login. So what this will do is it will log me out of my Firebase, and this gives me an opportunity of logging in with another account if that is needed. So again, I'm just saying yes, and it will redirect me here, and here I can choose some of the other account if I want to change. You might have multiple Firebase projects, and so here I'm just going to use this one, and I'm saying like okay, I will allow Firebase CLI. So you should, once it is successful, you should get something like this, and here also you will get in your terminal stuff like that. Okay, so let's follow along. Next, what we will do here is we will say Firebase init. This will initialize a project in Firebase. So here it tells what all stuff you need. For this we need functions, and we will need hosting. Hosting I will tell you why, but later on we will need it, so I'm just putting it here. So that's all, and I will hit next. Here I'm gonna say create a new project, and I will call it something like wallet journal, something like this. Would you like to call your project defaults? Yeah, it's okay. We will just call the wallet journal as a project, and let's see what happens now. So it will take a little bit of time, and once that is done, yeah, so your Firebase project is ready. It will start with the function setup. In the meanwhile, we can check like if my Firebase project, it says like it is available at this. So let me just go there. But yeah, before that, so it says like what language would you like to use? We're gonna use TypeScript, and for the rest part, I'm just saying yes. So it will install all the npm dependencies that are needed for this. And yeah, this gives us a little bit of time, so we will go to Firebase console and refresh this. You would see that wallet journal is there. So this was the link that it had given us, and this is the wallet journal. A brand new Firebase and a Google Cloud project ID has been created. So this is great. So here also I'm just using the defaults. I'm just hitting enter, and now if you see here, you have your functions and public, which will have your HTML, and this firebase.json is there. So this is good. Let's get started with the console Firebase Google and convert our stuff to a paid plan, Blaze plan, and we'll also add authentication and Firestore database. So let's get started here again. So we will go here. First it says like it is Spark. Here it is no cost, but we will update it to Blaze plan. So we will select base plan and billing account. I already have a billing account, but if you don't, you might have to choose that, and then I will do continue. And here is your budget amount. For this I'm just going to put budget amount to be $5 per month. So mostly we won't go above $5 also, but this is good enough. And yeah, I'm just confirming the purchase. It won't charge anything in your thing as of now, but yeah, that's good. Now that we are on base plan, that is one thing done. We will also go to Firestore database, and we will say create a database. So we are using default. You can keep all of these defaults, but yeah, and then hit next. And I'm saying start in production mode, so allow read write will be false by default. Nobody can read or write your Firestore except for the admin. Admin can only read and write, and for that you don't need the need permissions here. So once that is done, nice. So we did yeah, and the last part is that we need to add authentication. So here in build we have authentication, and here I'm gonna say get started, and I'm gonna use Google as the authentication provider. So yeah, that's it, and I'm gonna check it enable. For this support email I'm gonna use my support email, and that's it. I'm just hitting save. So this is all good. Now that all of this is set, let us try to deploy our cloud functions. So now let's deploy our hello world cloud function, see if everything is working fine. So what are cloud functions? Cloud functions basically is this guy, and it is saying that okay, it is waiting for my first deploy. It gives you a serverless environment to host your middleware or a service basically. So let's first take a look into it, and then we will do it. So first I'm going to open it with Visual Studio Code. So this is my stuff that is opened recently, and if you see the code organization here, these are the node modules that got installed. This is your package.json with just the Firebase admin, Firebase functions as a dependency listed. There are some dev dependencies of TypeScript, those are fine. And now what we have here is index.ts here. So what we will do here is that we will uncomment this and see if you can get this hello from Firebase as a cloud function. So this is all good. And if you see package.json, you can see what all stuff are there. That is build, which you can use TSC, and then build watch also is there. npm run serve is there, which can help you run locally, and then npm deploy is there to deploy your function. So we are just going to use npm deploy and deploy it right now. The deployment will actually compile it from TypeScript to JavaScript, but yeah, you can use npm run build also, but yeah. So I'm going to run npm run deploy and see how it goes. So as you see here, it is going to build first. That is this the TSA compiler in a way. So after that compile, you will see this lib here. I feel, yeah, this is the index.js that got compiled into the TypeScript that got compiled into that. Okay, so as you can see, the function was deployed. Now it gave us a URL where the function would be hosted. So basically it is like a service for us. If you hit this endpoint, it will say hello from Firebase. You can do curl this and it will say hello from Firebase. That is what we have said, response.js. It is kind of like, yeah, so now you have a service that's running. You can also see this function available here. So yeah, this is also the same function in your Firebase console. You can also see the same function here. So yep, here this is your base URL for your project, basically for your cloud functions. So yeah, keep this handy. This will be used at some other places, but yeah, this is good. So now that we have all of this working, let us do one more thing. So we will actually now get the code that we will be using for the wallet GPT. I will walk you through the code, but I'm not going to type it right now because it will take too much of a time. So this is an open source repository that I created for this demo. You can the link is right here. You can actually go here, and I'm gonna clone this repo in a separate directory. So I'm gonna go here, and this is where we just created the wallet journal new project, but I'm gonna clone in a separate directory. So I will say git clone this. So this is my wallet GPT that I cloned here, right? And what I will do now is I will first so I'm gonna delete the whole functions stuff, and I will replace it with let me close this. So I will delete the functions from wallet journal and will replace it with functions from wallet GPT. So let me go to wallet journal. This is a new one that we created, which has a hello world application. I'm gonna replace the functions, and I'm gonna cp /wallet GPT. This is the one that we just git cloned, and the functions there, I will copy it here. Now I have functions here. Now I will go into the functions, and because it's the first time, there's no node modules here, so I will have to run npm install. So this looks good. Everything is looking good. The node modules have been installed, and what we will do is we will open this stuff again with Visual Studio Code. So if you see here, you have your source folder here with, previously you just had index.ts with one hello world here. Now instead of that, we have some more functions that are defined here, and each of these, so these are the three functions that deals with OAuth authentication, as well as like being the man in the middle and helping with the OAuth stuff. And these are the things which help with the core business logic. So when GPT says that will get me your user wallet, your wallet balance, it will actually call this function basically, and here it will go to this service which will actually get the wallet balance. So here we are using Firestore, so it goes to user snapshot, and if it's not, that it returns that balance is 0, but if it is that, then it will return the balance as the user data. We are just rounding it off, but yeah, that's all that is happening here. So this looks good. One thing to note here is that there is environment.local file where you have to give all of these stuff. Now your redirect URI will actually be your function base URI that we got from here. This is your function base URI, and this, and it will be followed by let me go to index.ts, and this is your OAuth redirect. So this is going to be your redirect URI. Now that you have got your redirect URI, let us find your client secret and client ID. So for that, what we will do is that we are going to copy this URL here, and we will go now to cloud.google.com. Go to your console, and this switch to a project that you were is it not showing the, so go to your switch to the all tab and go to wallet journal as a project. This is a project that I just created now. It's the same as your Firebase. When you create a Firebase project, it under the hood also creates a Google Cloud project. So this is the this is a Google Cloud project which is backing the Firebase. So in Firebase we said like we wanted to use Google sign-in. So where that happens is we have APIs and services. If you go here, it should have created, if you go to your credentials, it should have created this OAuth to client ID for you. So this was generated so that it can do sign in with Google in your Firebase basically. So we are going to use the same stuff here, but and we will these are your client ID and client secret, so we will just use them. One thing that we will have to add here is your authorized redirect URI. This is where Google will redirect you after the user says like, okay, I'm permitting this user to have access to my OpenIDs. So for that, I'm actually pasting the URI that we had. So now that that is done, we can actually resume the other stuff. So we will actually take this client ID here, and we will put that client ID here, and this is the client secret, and I will put that here. Please note that you should never share your client ID and client secret. I'm doing that right now for demo purposes, but what I will do is that after this is done, I will completely delete my whole Google project, so this will be of no significance after that. So once you have done this, now I wanted you to take what we will have to do is we will copy paste it, the environment variable, and I will call it env.default. Okay, why I'm calling this? So you can actually have a local variable and a default variable. You can have a different project that can run locally and one that you want to push it to the cloud. So that's why I try to use this kind of two different stuff. And if you see package.json, you can actually see like when you run deploy, I'm actually doing Firebase use default and then doing Firebase deploy management only functions. So this should be good. Let us deploy our stuff. Let us run deploy, and then I will walk you through some of the code. So this should deploy everything. So as you see here, it is using the default environment which we created here. Now this process will take some time. In the meanwhile, let me walk you through some of the underhood here. So as you see here, there was let me guide you through the authentication, how this works. So this is the authentication URL. So when the user does not have any what do you call it? So if the user does not have the access token stored in the GPT will ask the user to visit this authentication URL. So what happens here is like when the user comes to visit this authentication URL, we are creating an authorized URL out of this auth client. Okay, and this authorization URL will the user will be redirected to this authorization URL, basically auth URL. This is where we are asking for scopes that we want only OpenID and profile scopes. You can add other scopes like let's say Drive or Mail or whatever you want from Google, but for other use cases. But for our use cases, OpenID is sufficient. That's what we want. Always limit your scopes to whatever is needed, no less, no more. And once you get that, once the user says like, okay, yeah, I want to give my tokens to this service, what Google will do is that it will ask the user to redirect. The Google will redirect the user to this auth redirect. This was the stuff that we updated in this place. So once the user gets redirected here, it will be given two things. One is the code and one is the state. From the code, we will actually be able to we will actually just redirect the user back to the redirect URI that we got from OpenAI. And now from OpenAI, once OpenAI gets the code, the OpenAI calls us to get tokens from that code, and this will be the same function which can be either called to get refresh token, access token from refresh token, or access token from code. So this part is to get access token from refresh token, and this part we will ask auth client to get tokens from the code. So once we get the tokens, access token, refresh token, we are just sending it back to our OpenAI, and OpenAI will save that access tokens and refresh tokens. Okay, so that's the basics of it. And then the other service that we have is our wallet service. The wallet service is what actually interacts with our store and Firestore and get all the stuff. Like if I want to get wallet balance, I will ask Firestore to get the user snapshot, and from there we will get the balance. If I want to see the latest transaction, again I will ask the Firestore to say get me all the latest transactions. I'm limiting to 10 latest transactions here, and you will get those transactions here. And similarly, if you want to reset your wallet, you can call this. This will delete your user. If you want to add expense to your wallet, you can call this, and this will add expenses, create documents into the Firestore. So, and then if you want to add income to your wallet, you can also add income to this wallet. Add transaction is a helper method which will actually create document snapshot and will actually help us with it. So now that our wallet service is ready, it's time to test them out. So for testing, I have actually created a nice if you go into reference stuff, there is something called test request.http, and with this you can actually help to test it. So what I'm gonna do here is okay, so wherever is I'm gonna substitute this whole portion with my base URL, that is wallet journal cloudfunctions.net. Okay, so let's get started, and then we will get to see how it works in action. You should be actually opening this in a browser. So let us open this again in a browser here, and it says like, okay, I'm gonna you can choose an account to continue with wallet journal. So I'm gonna use this one, and this is fine. It says that the URL was not found, but what we wanted was the code, and we got the code. So this is the code, and we will be putting this code here. And next is we will be calling get tokens from code API. So okay, this is something else, but yeah, so this is get tokens from code API that we'll be calling. In order to call this, you will actually need to sorry, this was the wrong place. I had to put my code here. So when OpenAI receives the redirect URI, it will make a call back to our server middleware with this code and our client ID and client secret. So the client ID and the client secret I'll be copying from here, and my client ID will be this. This is a post call, and you don't need access to these things here, so I'll be removing this. So let us see what we get if we make a get call to this. It has to be a post call. So we do get our access token and refresh token. Let us save this access token refresh token right now. So I've saved my refresh token access token here in a note. But yeah, so now if you want to get tokens from code with your refresh token, for example, you can just give it like this, your refresh token, and you can validate that you are getting that access token back. This can be your new access token if your access token gets invalidated. As you can see here that it has an expiry time and all the other stuff, but yeah, so expiry time means like, okay, this after this timestamp it will no longer be valid. So if you want to see what this timestamp is, you can see something like here. So basically 1 hour from now it is going to be expired, so that gives us ample time, and after that you have to use a new access token as I mentioned. So now I'm going to use this access token for now. And all the places where your token is there, I'm gonna replace it with a success token. So okay, so the first call is like, yeah, get add income to wallet. This is like if your pocket money has been added, so this is what I'm gonna do. So this should add income to my wallet. Let's wait for it. Yeah, so it said success. Next is like I'm adding expense to my wallet, so that's also done. Next is to add another expense to my wallet, and next is to get wallet balance. So 5 plus 2, around $8 has been spent, so it should be $2.4 is left. So I can show you how it looks in our Firestore and how it gets saved here. So in order to go that, I'm going to go switch to our Firebase console. You can go to Firebase data store, and you can see all the amount here. That is $2.4 is left, and here are all the transactions that happened. This is where we are saving all the transactions. Now if I add one more transaction, like let me add one more transaction here, like one more lunch at Taco Bell, and if you see here, one more stuff would have been added here. So now it became 4 of them, and my amount has become 0.05, 5 cents only left. So this is good. And now if you want to reset your wallet, as in delete everything here, you can actually hit this, and this should delete all of them here. So yeah, there's no users here basically, so everything got deleted. So that's the basics of it. And yeah, that's all for this session. All the instructions that I did has been updated in this thing, so feel free to look at this if at all you get lost. In the next session we will create a GPT and integrate these APIs with it. So yeah, thanks, that's all, bye bye.